Breaking news, first on Denver7 News at 11. The city and county of Denver is moving to more severe coronavirus restrictions because of an uptick in cases. Right now, Denver is at Safer at Home level 2 on the state's COVID dial. It will move to Safer at Home level 3, and here's what that means. Gatherings are limited to no more than 10 people from 2 households. Stores are limited to 25% occupancy. Restaurants and churches are reduced to 25% occupancy or no more than 50 people. Gyms and rec centers are not authorized to open for in-person activities, but can teach virtual classes. We're just minutes away from getting an update from the mayor about the decision, and we'll carry his 11:30 announcement live on our streaming channels. The governor will also respond to the increase in coronavirus cases and hospitalizations. That's at 12:30. Both news conferences will stream live on Denver7 on your Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, or Android device. Colorado just hit a new record high for a single-day increase in new coronavirus cases. Yesterday, we added more than 2,200. There are currently 591 hospital beds in use. 6% of all available hospital beds are occupied by either COVID-19 patients or patients with a suspected case. That number jumped over the last few weeks from just 3%. The state launched a new function on its dashboard. It shows how close your county could be to new restrictions. There's a red stop hand on Denver, Adams, and Arapahoe counties. Denver is currently at level 2, which means concern. Boulder is also at level 2. Adams County will bump to level 3 tomorrow night, which is the highest risk level before stay-at-home measures. Some businesses will have to reduce capacity. Others, like gyms, have to close.
I feel like again, we've just been incredibly responsible here. I don't know. Time will tell. Lots of prayers, lots of wishful thinking, but I don't know.
All city offices in Brighton are closed this morning due to a coronavirus outbreak among city employees. The city hasn't said exactly how many employees have tested positive, but the state defines an outbreak as 2 or more positive cases. Municipal courts are also closed today, but the Brighton Police Department will remain open as usual. The city will reassess the safety of reopening city facilities as the week goes on. Nationally, many states are already experiencing what we're trying to avoid. Their hospitals are overwhelmed by COVID cases. ABC's Rena Roy reports.
Overflow tents are lined up at the largest hospital in El Paso, Texas, where people are streaming in infected with COVID-19. Hospital workers overwhelmed with the influx of patients.
I've never seen anything like this, and I dare to say that most people have not.
Nearly a quarter of all hospitals across the country reporting their ICU beds are more than 80% filled, according to an internal Health and Human Services memo obtained by ABC News. Right now, more than 42,000 patients are hospitalized in the U.S. Utah reporting record high numbers, ICUs there reaching capacity, and hospital staffing is limited.
University of Utah, one of our biggest hospitals, was at 99% capacity with their ICU. Their nurses and doctors are working extended hours around the clock. They are exhausted. We are in a dire situation. We're the most vulnerable that we've ever been.
That internal HHS memo also shows the nation battling a 15% increase in new deaths. Cases are rising in at least 44 states. New Jersey's largest city, Newark, reinstating an 8 p.m. curfew starting Tuesday night for non-essential businesses to try to slow the spread.
It seems desperate, but it's a desperate moment. We got through this before, so we'll get through it again.
Dr. Anthony Fauci telling Yahoo News the U.S. is facing the worst numbers it's seen since the pandemic began, with as many as 62,000 new cases reported Monday.
I look at it more as an elongated and exacerbation of the original first wave. We never really cleared and got down to a very low baseline. No matter how you look at it, it's not good news.
Dr. Fauci also saying returning to normalcy requires widespread acceptance and adoption of mask wearing, along with other, quote, common sense public health practices. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
A new report says 1 out of every 8 nursing homes in Colorado does not have enough masks, gowns, and other protective gear.
We are 7 months into a pandemic, and we still don't have enough PPE to ensure that we're keeping people in nursing homes safe, not just the residents, but the people who are working there as well.
You can see which nursing homes are struggling to get supplies on the website for CoPIRG, the Colorado Public Interest Research Group. They also have a list of 20 questions to ask the nursing home where your loved one is staying. Right now, commanders of the massive response to the East Troublesome fire in Grand County are about to give an update. Our newsroom will listen in on how the snow helped their efforts Monday and will affect firefighting plans for today. If there are major developments, we'll bring them to you right here. For the first time, many people living around Grand Lake were able to go home last night and assess the damage of the fire. The Grand County Sheriff's Department says there will be a slow process. Crews have to decipher what's a garage, an outbuilding, or a home. Denver 7 caught up with some evacuees returning home.
A relief for us, but it's, I guess we'll look at we're home survivors. We feel really bad for everybody else.
We still have all of our businesses in Grand Lake and the Rocky Mountain Repertory Theater, and it'll be back. It'll all be back.
The Sheriff's Department says it's unclear how many homes were destroyed. It hopes to notify all homeowners by the end of the week. This morning, we are blown away by your kindness for our neighbors impacted by these wildfires. Your donations helped our Denver7 Gives fund raise more than $157,000. Denver 7's Micah Smith shows you how a little bit of that went to meeting evacuees' immediate needs this morning.
If you've donated over the past few days to Denver7 Gives Wildfire Relief Fund, I want to show you exactly where your money is going. We are able to provide 2 meals for the evacuees staying here at the Hilton Doubletree in Westminster. There's about 170 evacuees left, and we wanted to be able to show you that all of the money you've donated goes directly back to the evacuees. We talked to one woman who told us she's so grateful not only for this meal, but for everything all of our community partners have done in their time of need.
It's just truly, the community effort is just, it's just overwhelming. I mean, I'm not going to end up in tears today, but I've ended up in tears on the other days, just thanking people for just their graciousness and help.
After our evening call center, our fundraising total reached more than $154,000. Again, that's due to viewers like you and your extremely generous donations. We're able to help so many people who have been impacted by these devastating wildfires. Reporting in Westminster, Micah Smith, Denver 7.
Thank you. And we know this recovery effort is going to be a marathon, not a sprint. If you would like to partner with us to help lift up and support the fire victims, you can go through the Denver7 Gives Fund. All of the money goes straight to those who need it. Just go to thedenverchannel.com, click on the Denver7 Gives page, and select the Wildfire Fund from our drop-down menu. And here's a look at where the East Troublesome and Cameron Peak fires stand, unchanged since last night. East Troublesome is 20% contained, Cameron Peak is 64% contained. And I want to bring in Katie LaSalle now with how the weather is playing into all of this. Katie, today will feel a little bit of a warm-up.
Jessica, yes, this afternoon we'll start to see some melting across the metro area, but some warmer days are on the horizon for the rest of the week. You can see sun is shining pretty picture perfect there, looking at Westminster into our snow-capped Rocky Mountains. Civic Center Park, be careful still all around the metro area where sidewalks are still icy, some of those side streets that haven't been treated. Just play it safe. We're still below freezing, upper 20s DIA, out through Aurora, Castle Rock, and Parker. Into the mountains, it's only 6 degrees right now in Steamboat Springs. And if you are taking the dogs out and about today, in the low 40s. 60s are on our 7-day. I'll take you through the full forecast still to come.